this bitter earth.
We're here today to discuss St. Bonaventure's fall production of Macbeth. Now, Paul, you portrayed the character of Macbeth. Were there any predominant themes that helped guide you during this production?
Well, our director, Patty Strickland, and dramaturge, Mr. Macbeth, actually led quite a few discussions with us as a cast in discussing what our theme was actually going to be. And we wanted to take this opportunity during Macbeth to really explore the differences and the struggles of someone with a life that had spiritual foundation as their core and one that does not have a spiritual foundation. In the beginning of the play, we set up that Lady Macbeth and Macbeth have lost their 10-year-old son. And so there's a tragedy in their life that we set up that leaves them vulnerable to the wickedness of the world, I guess you can say. The witches actually come in and are planting the seeds in the first couple of scenes. And so they're left with this openness to vulnerability. And in that, you see that they do not have a spiritual foundation, and the struggles that happen to them as far as that progress throughout the play. In sharp contrast, though, we have a couple characters that are actually do have a spiritual foundation. Two that come to mind are Malcolm, who is the king's son, as well as Macduff. They both have a spiritual foundation, and so when they have the loss, Malcolm, his father, is killed, so he's the king. And so there's the loss for him. And Macduff has his family killed by Macbeth. And so there's these contrasting characters that have spiritual foundation and don't have. And so in that, that's one of the theme of the whole.
Right. One of the things you mentioned was wickedness. Now, Whitney, you played one of the Weird Sisters, yes?
Yeah.
Did you think that the theme of tragedy helped you in your role?
Yes. We Weird Sisters come. we constantly was looking for vulnerability and people who were disconnected spiritually, and that's when we found Macbeth, because we discovered him after the war and we recognized him from the cemetery, and he just lost his son, so he was pretty vulnerable. And so we took advantage of that, and we met him in the woods and planted our little seeds of he's Thane of Glamis and he'll be Thane of Cawdor and eventually king, and he fell for it, so that was good. And then his wife, actually, Lady Macbeth, was even more power hungry than him, so that was easy. And
so, Desiree, you played Lady Macbeth?
I did, yes.
What was it like playing such a, well, for lack of a better term, despicable character?
Yeah, it's actually funny that you say that, because when you first look at the character, like, you assume she's just this evil woman who has no reason for her wickedness. But in creating the story and what Paul was saying before, we had a situation in the beginning where they had lost their son, and that just moved me more to understand her background and how she became evil, and having that as a precursor to the play was so helpful, because right away you just assume, oh, she's evil and she's just looking for power and that's all she's after. But you can't play a character like that. You can't connect to a character if you're judging the character that way. So it was very helpful to have.
Because of all these sides she has, did you find it hard to play her? Because she had so many
layers, yeah, exactly, and especially in the final scenes where she's clearly lost her mind because of the guilt she has over killing Duncan and just causing all this mischief in the world. And so just layering on these emotions and personal emotions, I guess, that she had throughout the play was extremely challenging.
Did you guys find it hard to read the script? Was there any language barriers?
Actually, the first audition that we had here, we were running through the witches scene, and it was so difficult because she's doing her incantations and saying, I think, the fed running cries and chestnuts in the cauldron. We had no idea what she was talking about. So yeah, having Mr. Macbeth there to interpret the text for us, which is what the dramaturg actually does, and explain also the historical background of Shakespeare and why he was writing the way he was, and the black magic, kind of how it was incorporated into the text, helped us with the characters, I think, very much.
We all know Mr. Macbeth is such a character, no matter where you put him in any circumstance. What was it like working with him personally? Like beyond just, you know, interpreting the text?
I think it was a nice way to kind of connect with him more just as on a personal level, because he's our teacher, so you know there is that kind of boundary automatically of authority. But he brought in such a spiritual connection into the play, and we were able to discuss it here because, you know, being a Catholic school, and I think him bringing his own values to the play was very beneficial to us as a cast.
And how would he do that? How did he bring his own values into the play?
Well, he would first interpret the text the way Shakespeare intended it to be, and we understood that this was a tragedy. Although it is a tragedy, we wanted to take the spiritual aspect of the play into account, and that's what Mr. Macbeth really demanded of us as a cast. He was like, you need to focus on the contrast between what's evil and what is good. And I think Whitney, he even talked to you about playing an evil character and how to look at it as not an evil character, but
doing it for God in a
for
way
God,
that
to glorify
represent not what evil can do for me. So I had to, or for people in general, that I had trouble finding so much darkness to follow it, that he just said, do it for God and show how evil can destroy us if without a spiritual background or foundation. So.
Now, Mr. Macbeth being one of the heads of the English department, I know that the seniors, because I'm one of them, are studying Macbeth. Now, was this helpful to you guys, learning it here and on stage and interpreting the text, and then taking it into the classroom?
Yes. Actually just took a Macbeth test a couple days ago. So, and yeah, it helps us bring more to discuss to the text in the classroom, I think. And since we did invite the students, the senior 12 English students, to the play, and they were able to have a visual interpretation of it as opposed to just, you know, the reading, and you can't really connect to it if you don't see it. And a lot of us are visual people, especially nowadays.
Right.
So yeah, in class we're able to go deeper into the text because we have a better understanding of what Shakespeare is actually saying. And but still, even saying that, there's so much more that can be found just in the text, because there's, you know, Shakespeare layers everything he possibly can into the play, and so yeah.
Now, beyond just studying Macbeth, now just going on to the general studies, did you find it hard to continue doing such extracurricular activities and then balancing schoolwork as well?
Yes, I would say that was really difficult, but in other words, I would say that, well, most of this whole entire cast is taking AP classes, so, well, most of them, 2 or 3, quite a few, but one of the main things is that we had to take in time management, and what we got from drama would be focus, and that pretty much helped us through the whole entire time of school and work.
Do you think that being in drama, therefore, makes it easier to be in more advanced classes and AP classes and help you handle the situations better?
I would say, yeah, because there's so much focus that we get from drama and so much mental things that we have to go through. We start to focus a lot more in class, and we do better.
Now, Gabe, as you heading back there, I know you played King Duncan.
Yes, I did.
Did this role help you in your studies?
Actually, yeah, I have noticed that I've been able to do better in school.